Welcome to the Social Good Conferences. These are conversations for social good. And today we're talking about finance and wealth. This is a really important topic because there's lots of people out there today that have been able to figure out, through education, perseverance, and just desire, how to make it out there. And I'm excited to have today a really amazing guest speaker come and join the Social Good Conferences and share his wisdom with us. So, if we can, let's welcome our speaker and meet the speaker, Dr. E. Lance McCarthy. Dr. Lance has been, just a phenomenal career. He's worked with so many different organizations, but also the government. He's been all over the country, the world, and he's just a great public speaker as well. And what I've had the pleasure of is seeing him here in Los Angeles and interact with so many different circles. And it's just been great to see your impact. So, Dr. Lance, thank you so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on to share the vision of economic empowerment.
I love it. So you've had a really remarkable career. What could you share with us about who you are and some of the highlights?
I've been very blessed to be a global recognized economist. And so that allowed me to do research on economic development. When I first got my first contract in the early 90s, I said, if you're going to pay me to read and write and give you my opinion, what better occupation? So my career has been based on having the ability to research, look at emerging trends, and then actual execute. I tell people I'm 25% academic, 75% deal maker. And so in my research, I've realized as an economist, if we allow everyone access, if we allow people to be the most productive they are, then the entire society benefits. And so I've specialized in looking at the concept FIT, FIT, Finance International Technology, understanding finance, understanding international markets, and understanding technology. Using that, implementing that in the urban area allows success for those who too many times have been left out. And so in my book, Wall Street to the Hood, I outline an entire blueprint on how anyone in the economy can access information, access resources, and become the most productive citizen they can be. I've been helped many times in my career. And so God has allowed me to take these skill set and give it back. And I just believe that we're born a date, we die a date, we make that dash significant. I want to leave the world a better place than when I came in. And I'm very blessed to be able to do that. That keeps me working, that keeps my ideas going. And to see the light in people's eyes when you're able to take their vision and dreams and implement it, there's no price compared to that.
Could share with our audiences for the Social Good Conferences about your experience. What would be your top three lessons?
The top three lessons is one, we need to move to economic gardening, not economic development. And economic gardening is to assess the assets in your community. Many times we come across people, but we don't know what they do. Doing an assessment allows you to aggregate a group doing economic gardening versus economic development. The second is international. You may live in Los Angeles, you may live in Miami, you may live in Chicago, but you're a global citizen. And so understanding that you can sell or connect to anyone in the world is an empowerment for every individual. It used to be 6 degrees of separation. Now it's 1 degree of connection to anybody in the world. So economic gardening, international, and then of course technology. Every 30 minutes there is a new technology being developed. If you go to school now and you graduate 4 years from now, everything you learn is obsolete. So understanding and looking at trends in technology. We saw how Facebook changed the entire communication model. We're seeing how now we can do the shared economy where we're doing Uber, we're doing Airbnb. So looking at those trends and being able not only to develop them, but to invest in them. So lesson three is understanding emerging trends in technology. There is a new technology being developed every 30 minutes. And if you go to school now and graduate 4 years from now, everything you learn is obsolete. There are enormous amount of programs, certificate programs, coding programs, etc. You want to be astute on what are the emerging opportunities and what are the trends in technology. We have totally moved to a shared economy, Uber, Airbnb. And so if the average consumer and the average citizen can look at those trends and see, one, how they can invest in them, and two, how they can use their own ideas to be able to contribute to the market. There's more power than we ever have had by individual citizens. Understanding trends and creating your own, I think, is an empowerment and a freedom for everyone on the planet.
Talked about here. It's all comes down to, getting into the game. I love it. You
Yes.
figure out how to engage yourself in so many different ways and also in so many different circles. It's just remarkable. It's an inspirational. So when we think about kind of a case study, I know this is again another hard one because you've got such an amazing career. And you got so many projects you're working on too, because you've got just a breadth of what you're capable of. So, what would be a good case study that you could share with us about some of your work and an example?
The church has always been a major case study of mine because it touches so many people. Way back in the 90s, I wrote a document on rebuilding the infrastructure of our urban areas through the Black church. We have 65,000 Black churches, 25 million members depositing $250 million every Monday morning in someone else's bank. So my case study was to go into churches, do an assessment of the members' talents, put those talents into a business plan, evaluate that concept, then move to a business service. And so now you're quantifiably showing people how they can improve their lives spiritually and economically by having a business service in the church, by having a business plan in the church, and teaching churches how to go to Wall Street as opposed to the banks. So that has been my major, major case study because it allows you to touch every sector. It allows you to evaluate the talents. It allows that a consistent basis of people coming every week to be able to track and to be able to quantifiably move an agenda forward. So if there was one entity or one case study, I would say it is the church on economics development and being able to assess the individual's talents to be able to create business plans so we not only help them spiritually, we help them economically. And I've been very blessed to travel all around this country, all over the world, and help churches realize that they can assist the members on both sides to create financial, generational wealth, as well as the church itself to be able to create other revenue entities so they can continue to do God's work.
What would you say would be the top three ways that people could interact with you as a call to action after this?
Yes, well, again, they can connect me and I can definitely come speak in communities. I love lecturing all around the country in all facets. And when I come into a community, I can assess what they're doing and help people move their agenda forward. The second area, of course, is my book, Wall Street to the Hood. I outline the entire blueprint on how you can rebuild urban communities, featuring the Ferguson Initiative. I worked a lot with the Ferguson and the George Floyd Foundations, where I concluded that protesting is a direct result of lack of resources. So we created economic development platforms as a solution to protesting. And so I can come into communities, help that, and all that is outlined in my book. And then, of course, economic development. And then three, directly contacting me through Instagram on that set.
Participate in the social good conferences. You get certified as an official speaker for social good. And it's important because I think, just like what Dr. Lance said, is that there is an alternative to taking to the streets in protest. And he is one amazing example. And this is where I think that we continue as, a community of people hungry for change, hungry for positive outcomes. And we connect with people like Dr. Lance, right? And this program,
People have the opportunity to maximize their talent and purpose, who you are, being able to contribute to society. We have less crime, less poverty, and we have increasing productivity if people just have the resources and allowed to be themselves. So thank you for allowing me to come on and share my vision, my path, my journey. And I want to continue to help people all around the globe.
thank you for attending the Social Good Conferences. These have been Conversations for Social Good. They've been presented by Tomasito Media and Buddytown Consulting.